Imagine achieving everything you ever dreamed of. Imagine power, status, recognition, and respect finally within your reach. And then imagine losing everything because of a single decision. This is the story of Macbeth, a powerful and terrifying journey into the human mind, where ambition turns toxic, guilt becomes unbearable, and the desire for power destroys everything it touches. Macbeth by William Shakespeare is one of the most psychologically intense tragedies ever written, exploring how far a person will go when temptation whispers and conscience begins to fade. It is a warning about what happens when ambition grows faster than morality and when fear replaces reason. Macbeth begins in Scotland, where Macbeth, a courageous and loyal general, has just led his army to victory in battle. He is celebrated as a hero, trusted by King Duncan, and admired by the nation. Macbeth seems honourable, noble, and committed to service. But everything changes when he and his friend Banquo encounter 3 mysterious witches on a dark, stormy night. The witches greet Macbeth with 3 shocking prophecies. He will become Thane of Cawdor, he will become King of Scotland, and Banquo's descendants will one day become kings. Moments later, messengers arrive announcing that Macbeth has indeed been named Thane of Cawdor. The first prophecy has come true. Suddenly, the idea of becoming king does not seem impossible anymore. Instead, it becomes destiny. The witches plant a seed of ambition deep inside Macbeth's mind, a seed that will soon grow beyond his control. Macbeth writes to his wife, Lady Macbeth, telling her what happened. The moment she reads the letter, she sees an opportunity for greatness. She believes Macbeth deserves the crown, but fears he is too moral and too hesitant to do what must be done. She immediately begins planning. When she learns King Duncan will stay the night at their castle, she pressures Macbeth to murder him in his sleep and seize the crown. Macbeth is torn between desire and conscience. He knows Duncan is a good king and that murdering him would be an unforgivable betrayal. In a powerful emotional struggle, he argues that he should not go through with it. But Lady Macbeth attacks his pride and questions his courage. She manipulates him into believing that true strength means acting without fear. Eventually, Macbeth gives in. Under the darkness of night, he murders Duncan. The crown is now his, but the victory is empty. Instead of triumph, Macbeth feels overwhelming guilt. He hears voices. He shakes uncontrollably. He believes he will never know peace again. Lady Macbeth takes control, framing Duncan's guards for the murder and trying to stabilize Macbeth as the kingdom falls into confusion. Soon Macbeth is crowned king, but rather than securing power, the crown becomes a prison. Macbeth realizes that if Banquo's children are destined to rule, then he has killed only to lose everything. His ambition transforms into paranoia. To protect his power, Macbeth hires assassins to kill Banquo and his son Fleance. Banquo is murdered, but Fleance escapes, leaving Macbeth with even deeper fear of losing control. At a royal banquet, Macbeth sees Banquo's ghost sitting in his chair. No one else can see it, but Macbeth is horrified and loses control in front of his guests. Lady Macbeth tries to calm him, but the cracks in their relationship widen. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are now isolated, consumed by guilt, fear, and suspicion. Macbeth becomes desperate. He seeks out the witches again, demanding more answers. They present new prophecies. Beware Macduff. No man born of a woman will harm Macbeth, and Macbeth will not be defeated until Birnam Wood moves to Dunsinane Hill. Macbeth interprets these messages as proof he cannot be defeated. Believing himself invincible, he abandons all moral restraint and orders the murder of Macduff's wife and children, a brutal act that shocks even his loyal followers. Macbeth is no longer a hero corrupted by ambition. He has become a tyrant fueled by fear. Meanwhile, Lady Macbeth begins to break under the weight of her actions. Once the driving force behind Macbeth's decisions, she is now consumed by guilt. She sleepwalks through the castle, rubbing her hands and whispering about blood she cannot wash away. Her mind collapses under pressure, and she eventually dies, most likely by suicide. When Macbeth is told of her death, he delivers one of Shakespeare's most famous lines, reflecting the emptiness of his journey. Life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Macbeth recognizes that his ambition brought him nothing but destruction. At the same time, Malcolm, Duncan's son, gathers an army to challenge Macbeth and reclaim the throne. They disguise themselves with branches from Birnam Wood, making the forest appear to move toward Macbeth's castle. The prophecy becomes reality in a way Macbeth never expected. In the final battle, Macbeth faces Macduff. Macbeth confidently declares that no man born of a woman can kill him. But Macduff reveals that he was born by caesarean surgery, not natural birth. Macbeth realizes he has been tricked by the witch's double meanings. He fights bravely, but is killed. Malcolm becomes the rightful king and restores peace. Macbeth is a tragedy that warns us about the danger of unchecked ambition. Ambition itself is not evil. Many great achievements are born from ambition. But when ambition grows faster than conscience, it turns destructive. Macbeth wanted to become king, but he wanted it faster than fate intended. Instead of earning power through loyalty and leadership, he tried to steal it through violence and deceit. The result is disaster. Macbeth loses everything he hoped to gain. He gains a crown, but loses honor, love, peace, and meaning. His story is a reminder that success achieved through betrayal is not success. It is self-destruction. Another powerful theme in Macbeth is guilt. Macbeth and Lady Macbeth believe they could commit the crime, take the crown, and move forward. Instead, guilt becomes an inescapable shadow. Macbeth hears voices and sees ghosts. Lady Macbeth relives the murder in hallucinations. Shakespeare shows that we cannot escape the consequences of our actions. Guilt is not punishment from the outside. It grows from within until it consumes everything. Macbeth also teaches us about the danger of influence. Lady Macbeth pushes Macbeth to act against his conscience. The witches speak in riddles designed to manipulate desire. Macbeth allows other voices to shape his choices instead of listening to his inner truth. The play reminds us to be careful who we allow to guide our decisions. The wrong voice can lead us to ruin. Finally, Macbeth explores fate and free will. Were the witches predicting destiny or creating it? Did Macbeth choose his path or simply fulfill it? Shakespeare does not provide a simple answer. The lesson is that prophecy alone changes nothing. Our choices determine our future. Macbeth could have ignored the witches. He could have been patient. He could have trusted that time would reveal truth. Instead, he forced destiny with violence and paid the price. So, what lessons can we take into our own lives? First, ambition must be balanced with ethics. Achieving greatness means nothing if you lose yourself in the process. Second, seeking shortcuts leads to long-term consequences. Third, guilt ignored becomes destructive. And fourth, trust your inner voice instead of being manipulated by external pressure. Every decision shapes your future. Greatness built on integrity lasts. Greatness built on fear collapses. The big takeaway from Macbeth is this: the most dangerous battles we fight are not on battlefields, but within our own minds. Ambition without discipline becomes obsession. Desire without boundaries becomes destruction. Macbeth teaches us that when we chase power without purpose, we become prisoners of the very thing we pursue. What part of Macbeth resonates most with you? The temptation of ambition, the struggle between choice and fate, or the consequences of guilt and pressure? Share your thoughts in the comments, and if you enjoyed this summary, like this video, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and tap the bell so you never miss a new deep dive into life-changing books and classics. Remember, true power begins with self-control.